Hello and welcome to another Delboy statue unboxing. Haven't done one of these for a while, and I just thought to myself, it's about time I sort of got some of my statues out. I've been a collector of Marvel as comics and as merchandise for 40 plus years. And it was around about 1998 that I started to expand into statues. There was a major designer called Randy Bowen, and he set up Bowen Studios that started to do Marvel statues. They were very, very expensive, and me not having that much money couldn't really buy them. As I saved up for them, more and more of the products came out, and the more I got further behind. But of course, as you grow in life and your wages go up, I've managed to be able to pick up quite a few statues, and I've now got well over 200 statues. Not all Bowen. Since Bowen started this off as a craze for me, there have been other studios. Diamond has done them. Sideshow Studios have done some absolute wonderful ones. Prime One Studios, and statues now have gone up from the price that I was originally buying them at, which was around about $100+, into now costing up to $2,000 to $3,000. And the nice thing, I suppose, about statues is because of the limited runs, they hold their money quite well. This particular statue we're going to do today is an old villain of Spider-Man's called Electro. And we'll talk about him in a moment. But this particular statue came in several versions. There's the version that I'm going to show you now, which is the hands up version in metallic green. But they also did a standard dark green of this in a more limited run, and then there was version with the hands down, again in a metallic and a dark green version. And finally there was a mini bust, or for all the people that couldn't afford the full-size statues, Bowen Designs started to doing mini busts, which is just the head and shoulders on a little plinth, and those were very, very cheap. This particular statue came out at an original price of $175 in 2010. I got mine around about 2014, a little bit later, from a good friend of mine on Facebook called Hanley, who even now sells statues and does things called the statue lottery, where you could actually bid on a number, and if the Powerball number comes out that week with the number that you bought, you could go away with a statue for less than $20, and all you'll have to do is charge for the packaging. I'm just going to assemble this because it does have some assembly, and I'll show you the bottom of this first. So just to show you, hopefully on the camera okay, that this is number 168 of 1,000. Yes, there was 1,000 of these. Each version variant, mint green, metallic, all of those had different numbers. So that's the plinth in place. And then there are some of these electrical wires. Now, these are a bit tricky because they're a bit hard to understand which ones are which. I believe this one goes down here. Yes, it does. Like I say, can be a bit tricky, this. Oh, having a bit of trouble with this one. Like I say, haven't assembled this in a very, very long time. So I think that's in place. Yeah, there we go. We've got a smaller one, which I think is the middle, from memory. Yes, it is. And then we've got another large one for the back, which goes in a hole there. That's nice and snug. And there we go. That's the plinth in place. So quite a nice plinth. And now we'll put the main man on himself. And hopefully this will go well, because I've only assembled this once before. It has a peg to keep him balanced. And we just need to make him snug on the plinth. And there we go. Fully assembled Electro. And we'll just see if we can zoom in a little bit, so you can see him in all his glory. Lovely. I really do like the metallic green and the yellow of this. The face is really menacing as well. And we'll just set him spinning round so that you can see all the different sides of him. And I'll just talk a little bit about Electro. So Electro, before he became Electro, was called Max Dillon. He was created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko and appeared in Amazing Spider-Man issue 9 from, I think, 1964. And the backstory of this is quite a fun one, really, for that year. His name was, like I say, Maxwell Max Dillon. He was an electrical engineer and a lineman. And he was repairing a power line, and a freak lightning accident caused a mutagenic change that transformed him into a living electrical capacitor. His powers were initially weak, but he decided that he was going to start a life of crime. So soon after taking the name of Electro, he turned to a life of professional crime, and his first victim was J. Jonah Jameson. Electro broke into the Daily Bugle building and stole from Jameson's safe right in front of him. But Jameson accuses Spider-Man of being an alternative identity of Electro. So was the hatred of J. Jonah Jameson at the time, prompting Spider-Man to prove the publisher wrong. During their first ever confrontation, Spider-Man is nearly killed after touching the electricity-charged villain. But Spider-Man eventually uses a fire hose to short-circuit Electro while wearing rubber gloves to protect himself. That's where the scientist of Peter Parker, Spider-Man, comes in. And the next time we saw Electro, he was part of a group called the Sinister Six, where 6 of the major villains that had been seen in that 1 year of Spider-Man's debut got together to try and beat him. They all failed, because basically every villain has an ego. And basically Electro ever since then has been sort of like a B-type villain, not a major player. But I've always considered him to be incredibly liking, the stories, the ability to be able to take the electricity out of the air and fly on it, to be able to fire lightning bolts. Absolutely, as a child, you couldn't expect anything more. And since then, he's been around, but of course he did actually die. I think it was around about 2006, and another character took over, but he was resurrected, brought back to life as a clone around about 2017, 2018. And since then, he's been around menacing as normal. So let's see if I can pick this up and get some better angles for you. So here we go. So you can see the lines in the face. And the lovely metallic green paintwork. But the base is just gorgeous as well. Just look at that rock work. That was the bits that I was having a little bit of a problem with getting those stuck in. But they slotted in the end. And they actually add quite a little bit. They don't look cheap at all. In fact, I'm very impressed all the time with how Bowen designed his statues. This is about 14 inches tall. And like I say, you can get some really menacing shots of Electro. Just look at that face, and those teeth, all wonderfully hand painted. So I'll just put this back down. Hopefully get that back in shot. And just wind up the video. Yeah, what a statue, and one that's a prize in my collection. I love my statues. I wish I could be able to display them all. But, you know, hopefully this is just a nice little showing for you of some of the other things that I collect, because I collect so much stuff. It's unbelievable. I'd love to go back to statues, but just too expensive. The most expensive statue I've got is about $1,500, and I stopped about 2 years ago. So that's the end of this video. I hope you find it amusing, fun, educational, and basically maybe it'll start you off with your own collection. For other people, I hope it gives you an idea of what it looks like in case you're looking to buy this on eBay or somewhere else. And with that, I'm going to say salute. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Till the next one.